The story of Baby Farmer. Where to begin? Well, when I moved here to this farm, I was already halfway through my pregnancy, but I was very excited to move, even though it meant more remodeling and more things going on, lots of activity. But I was feeling good. I had a healthy pregnancy, and I was very thankful for that. And so it was a good thing that we moved here. And it got a little harder towards the end for sure, with being very pregnant and still lots to do, constant work here on the farm. But it was a beautiful thing that we were able to move here, and I never regretted it. So as I neared the end of my pregnancy, the goal was to have a completely natural birth, to be able to experience bringing life into the world without complications, without anything that was not necessary. But the story was not like I had planned, and I learned a lot through this. I've learned that I can't control this, how long or how I live or what the experiences are I have, and I can't plan out how my baby is born. So with this beautiful baby farmer here who's fast asleep, his story unfolded in a very unplanned way. At 39 weeks, I had to go into the hospital for an induction. It was due to complications, and everyone that was medically involved in my pregnancy all recommended this. But it started a process that required a lot of interventions and a lot of things going on that I had not wanted, that I had not planned for. So it ended up being a very long, very painful birth process. Went into the hospital Sunday morning. He was not born until Tuesday at noon, and we were attempting a VBAC. Our first, the mini farmer, as you've met her many times, she was a breech C-section, so I was attempting a VBAC, and I gave it all I had. I gave it 100%, and our baby farmer got very stuck, and it ended up in a C-section, and it was very discouraging in that moment to realize I had tried so hard, and it felt like I had failed, like I had somehow done something wrong. But everyone was reassuring and reminded me that it was nothing I had done, that I had given it my all. And so I went into the C-section discouraged and overwhelmed and definitely tired. And on the operating table, my perspective changed. It very quickly turned from a normal C-section into what I would call an emergency. Our baby was in distress. He had swallowed meconium and was very stuck in his airways. And Mr. Farmer had a very different experience than me, because I was under, medication that was making it hard for me to cope with it all. And clearly, I wasn't able to see and experience it like him. But I do remember that I heard nothing, that I didn't hear any crying. I heard silence, and that silence was very scary. And then I heard them calling for backup and urgent voices and still silence. And then through that process, at the same time, I had internal bleeding, and I suddenly heard doctors over me calling for backup and discussing what was going on inside of me, and words like, we don't know, we've never seen this before, and we don't know what's causing the bleeding, we don't know how to fix it. And at this point, I guess it was all too overwhelming for me. I was feeling very anxious, and they put me out, put me under. And so the next thing that I remember was this beautiful baby boy and his cheek up against mine, and them saying that everything was okay.
Meanwhile, my experience was no better. It was not great for different reasons, but it was no fun either. So I was in the hospital for the 2 days as well, and then I actually got the mini farmer and came home. I needed a break from the hospital. I really don't like hospitals at all, and I just wanted to be here on the farm. So, I had the same goal. I really wanted to be supportive. Also wanted to make sure that good decisions were made. And so it was definitely a challenge. So I didn't really become aware that there were any issues or concerns until the labor didn't progress. And that's when I started getting concerned, and I realized... No, there's no thorns. I realized that things weren't going well, and this was going to be a C-section, and so I was just hoping that it would not be an emergency, that it would just be simple and straightforward. Well, unfortunately, it didn't go that way. So, in the operating room, all I could really do was watch and observe. So when they pulled the baby out, sure, can you get some out? Can you get a scoop out? Stand up here. In there, yes. Get a scoop of that for the cows. So I'm standing there in the operating room, and I can't see much of the actual operation until they pulled the baby out, and then I went over to the baby.
I want that one.
And I was concerned right away. So he wasn't crying, and he was gray, and I'll put this picture in so you can see what it looked like. Okay, that's good, thank you. Okay, let's go put some water in it. Oh, let's put some of this in too.
Help! Please, help.
Yeah,
I want to do it.
No, we're done with that one. So I was very concerned.
I tapped it.
It took 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes to get him to breathe. And his heart rate was a little elevated, but not a huge concern. And there was an expert from the NICU that came running over at about 5 minutes, and she actually knew what she was doing and was able to get his throat cleared out to make so he could actually breathe. And he was he didn't even cry. He made a few noises for the first few hours, but it clearly was difficult for him. So thankfully we were able to spend some time with him um, for the first 3 hours or so. Sorry, I'm really bad at this, walking and talking.
I want to hold it.
Here, that's nasty. Let's go wash it. So, you know, I was hopeful that everything was okay after we got through there, but clearly there were still complications, and he wasn't breathing real well. So, unfortunately, let's see, he was born at 12:30, and then at 5:30 that evening they took him to the NICU and put him on oxygen. So I think you've seen that picture. I posted it somewhere. Here it is again. I'm a little calmer about it now, but it was pretty traumatic. You know, there's just nothing that I can do, and 2 of the 3 people I care about the most are in a very bad situation. She was fine, but extremely stressful. I have actually never been involved in a birth the way it's supposed to be. I guess I'm scarred for life. I hope I never see another one. My farm is where I want to be. I actually spent a couple of weeks off of work after the baby was born, so spent it here at home just doing things around the farm. You've seen some of those things. There's more to come. We got a lot done. So that was the farm was also part of my healing from the emotional trauma that I experienced.
Cow coming.
Yes. Hi, boys. You ready for some fresh grass? I got some hay in the stall for you. They're here looking for treats. I've been spoiling them. Yeah? Here, let's go inside. One of the things that I was really surprised by is that the hospital barely acknowledges the existence of a father. It was like I was just some random person who was there. So they gave me a lousy couch to sleep on. I don't even know if you can call it a couch. It wasn't even comfortable to sit on, much less sleep for 2 nights. So that's partly why I didn't stay there the whole week. Now, it was really great. I did get to hold him for quite a while to start with, partly because my darling was very tired, and holding him actually was fairly difficult for her at the beginning. And you know, once the traumatic part was the actual birth itself. It was stressful and disappointing that he was in the NICU so long, but it wasn't really it wasn't like there was, you know, a threatening issue that was really concerning us, other than, you know, of course we wanted him to just be healthy and be able to come home, and we both wanted to be at home, and the mini farmer wanted to be at home.
Let's go and see what the mini farmer is doing and Mr. Farmer. It's another gorgeous evening here at the farm. What are you doing? Are you feeding the cows?
What's that?
Oh, this is a stick. Where are the cows?
Right in there. Right in there.
Oh, I hear them. They're shaking their feeder.
I like that.
You want to see the stick?
What's
Is this fence hot?
No. Not hot.
Mini Farmer? Do you remember when Baby Farmer came home?
Yeah.
Do you like your baby brother?
I think it with my brother up there.
Yeah, your baby brother is with Mommy. Right here.
I want to see it.
Did you see the sunset? Isn't it gorgeous?
See the moon?
I do see the moon.
See the moon?
See if we can show everyone the lovely moon. There. More nightshade?
It was never cold here. But see, it's going dormant.
Wow.
I guess that's good, but it's actually much harder to find now.
I wonder, I guess we haven't seen this part of the year yet. I wonder if it's dormant for the rest of the, until it warms up in the spring.
It's all going.
Oh, hey, tall grass. Yeah, like the tall grass.
She does like the tall grass. She gets it all in her fur.
I take them. Hurry.
The farm is a beautiful healing place with rest and then activity here. I should be back to 100%, hopefully in the near future. I have lots of support, lots of love, wonderful neighbors here who help out and babysit Mini Farmer.
Get under it.
Then you say, "Good dog."
Get back. Get back. Only teacher.
So, even though it's been a tough month for us and a lot has happened, we're all here, we're all happy, and we're all healing, and one happy, thankful family. I really want to thank all the friends and family that helped us out. It's been amazing. Lots of food, and just a lot of support along the way. So thank you. You know who you are. So till next week, Saving Miller out.
Give baby brother a kiss.